to NFL Experts. I'm Dave Kraft along with Louis DB. This one is going to be a little bit longer than the last one. It's our second episode, and feel free to call in if you would like at any time. Okay, Louis, just get started.
Okay, so we are going to be going over draft needs for a certain amount of teams and a couple players that will go to specific teams that we think. So, Dave, where do you think Ryan Tannehill is going to go, the quarterback from Texas A&M?
Well, Tannehill, that's a good question, but I think he could end up in Miami. I know that the Dolphins are interested in him, and he's going to be the best quarterback out there. Their 9th overall pick or 8th, I don't know which one they have around there. So I think he'd be a good fit there and help the team out.
Yeah, I could see him in Cleveland with the Browns. I think they need to bring some competition for McCoy. So I just think if you put Tannehill in there, they can battle for the starting job, and if you can get another receiver in there for Cleveland, I think that'd be a good fit. So, Dave, where do you now see the receiver from Notre Dame going, Michael Floyd?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd like to see him in Buffalo with the Bills. I know they were after Vincent Jackson and Robert Beacham in the offseason, and also Mario Manningham, but they didn't get any of them. So I think Floyd would be a great fit there. They worked on their defense, and they solved their pass rush need. So now a receiver to help out Fitz would be great.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. But I think I like to see Michael Floyd as a Panther. I think it'd be at the 9th overall pick. I think it'd be over a stretch, but maybe not. Maybe they could get some weapons for Cam Newton. So it'd be a good. I think it'd be a good fit there. I think with their good running game. So, but that's a good point, though. I do think. Wait, did you say the Bills?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bills. That would be a good place. Okay, now Dave, how about left tackle Matt Khalil from USC?
Well, Matt Khalil, he's great. His brother plays for the Panthers, and but I've got him going to the Vikings 3rd overall. The Vikings have a lot of problems, and offensive line is one of them. Whoever their quarterback ends up to be, I believe it'll be Christian Ponder, but he'll need help being protected, so that'll help out their offense a lot.
That's true. I'd like to see Matt Khalil. I think he's going to go 3rd overall to the Vikings. I think that they need someone to help out in that front line for Christian Ponder, who's a young quarterback. So I think if they get protection in for him first, that'll help him out in the future. So now, where do you think the cornerback from LSU, Morris Claiborne, will go?
Claiborne will, maybe Cincinnati. Their defense wasn't looking too good last season. Well, towards the end, I think their secondary needed help, and Morris Claiborne there would be great. And he's also a kick returner, I believe, so that'll help out too.
Yeah, those are all great points. I think Morris Claiborne's a great corner, but I really don't know where he would go. I think maybe the Bills could take him if he gets that far to number 10. I think with Leotis McKelvin and Drayton Florence as the other 2 corners there that isn't McGee, I think they would need some help in the secondary, even though they have great safeties. But so Morris Claiborne's a great corner. So now we're going to be talking about the Carolina Panthers and the Pittsburgh Steelers and their draft needs. Dave, what do you think the Steelers need in this draft?
Well, I would say they need a running back with Mendenhall out till late December. So maybe they could go with Trent Richardson to help out the running game. But that is just for this year. I don't know if they want to ruin their draft, their 1st overall draft. Their 1st round draft pick for running back, which is only temporarily. But Mendenhall, he's not that great, and Richardson, I think he'd be a good fit there.
I agree. I think they need a running back with Mendenhall out till December. I think that they're going to need some help in the backfield to help out, and if they lose Mike Wallace, which is we're going to be talking about later on, they're going to need to rely on their running game, even though they do have a good receiver in Antonio Brown. But, we'll see what happens with the receivers. So for running backs, for the Steelers, I think in the draft, though, I don't think they go running back. I think they go safety. Not safety, my bad, corner. Other than Ike Taylor, they need a guy on the other end. So maybe they go for a young guy like Jenkins from Janoris Jenkins. So, but I don't know. The Steelers are another question mark for me. I got a couple teams that I just don't know. So, Dave, where now the question I was gonna ask, and it's a very interesting topic, is the situation with Mike Wallace. Do you see him ending up in Pittsburgh still, or where do you think go?
Well, it's a tough one because the Steelers placed a first-round tenure on him. I know they want him back, but I don't know. They don't really have the room to get him back. No one's really made a move for him yet. I think a good fit for him to be in New York with the New York Giants because they lost Manningham. They have the 32nd pick. It's not much of a loss for them, but I don't see that happening. I just think it'd be a good decision by the Giants. But I really don't know what's going to happen with Wallace. I mean, the Steelers want him back, I think, but in the end, he'll resume as a Steeler.
Okay, now we're going to go live with the caller. Hi, you're on air. What's your name?
My name's Christian, a.k.a. the Eagle Dad. What's going on, guys?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, man.
Okay, so I was talking to you earlier, and we got a couple questions for you. That's not all Eagles, but what do you feel about the Jason Peters situation at the left tackle position? He tore his Achilles tendon, working out. What do you think the Eagles do at the position for the starting job?
You know, normally, I would be devastated when something like that happens, but it's early in the season, so it's not even the season yet, so it's not as bad as how everybody makes it out to seem, even though Jason Peters I consider the best left tackle in football. I think they go after McNeil, or they go after the other kid from Buffalo. They're starting left tackle. So, say again, I'm sorry.
Demetrius Bell, he's left tackle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bell. That's absolutely right. I think it's either going to be Bell or be McNeil. I don't see them getting a starting left tackle in the draft without selling our, future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think they really I don't think they go with that 15th overall pick with a left tackle. I think that they still go in the defensive tackle area, like you said last week, Poe from Memphis. Great guy. I think great player. I think maybe Fletcher Cox if he gets there. But yeah, I still don't. I think Demetrius Bell or that McNeil could be the answer there. And I think with Vic being a lefty, left tackle, it's better than getting Todd Harriman's injured because he's got to cover his blind side. But it's never good when you lose your best left tackle in the league. Dave, you have any input on this?
I think the Eagles should get Bell. Me being a Bills fan, he was watching him. He was pretty solid, and I think he would be he'd be a good fill-in for Peters.
Yeah, I think it's a tough situation. But Christian, what do you think off Eagles? What do you think the Panthers? No, not Panthers. My bad. Where the Mike Wallace would be best fit?
Mike Wallace, that's a good one. I heard you guys mention the New York Giants. You know, to be perfectly honest, I think he fits in Pittsburgh. I think he makes the team. He's kind of the new generation. I mean, I've watched the Steelers for years, and it looks like they're changing all over the place. And now that Hines Ward is gone, they need some kind of identity. And Big Ben's getting older. I don't see them losing Wallace at all. I think his best fit is in Pittsburgh, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Antonio Brown on the other side, if they can keep with Mike Wallace, I think they can go far in the playoffs. So now, where do you think the Panthers will? What do you think the Panthers need in the draft?
That's a great question. I mean, I really think they're really weak on the defensive tackle, defensive end. I think they could use some help. Maybe the kid out of North Carolina, or maybe even Poe. But on the other side of the ball, their offensive threats were just nothing but Cam Newton. I would think another wide receiver would be great. You know, if Blackman was still there, but that's highly doubtful. Maybe if they could trade up and get Blackman, I mean that'd be a great possibility because they're right there in position to make a trade without selling their future. So
Yeah. Dave, anything?
Well, yeah, I would have them get. I think they should get what's the name out of
North Carolina?
No, isn't now North Carolina Melvin Ingram? Is it?
I think it's Quentin Coples.
North Carolina is Quentin Coples.
He'd be a good fit there, and I know they lost Peppers a couple of years ago, and their defense really hasn't done that great since to help Cam Newton out with offense. That'd be good, and they can maybe even make a playoff push with that.
Okay, hey, Christian, thanks for your time. We gotta get going. We got some more callers, but thanks for calling in again. You've been good.
Anytime, man. You take care.
Okay, now we're gonna go live again on the air with a Buffalo Bills guy that knows a lot. So, hi, what's your name? Where are you calling?
This is Mike from Queen City Sports.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
So we came up with some questions. We wanted to ask you about the Buffalo Bills, who are a very interesting team. Where do you think that the Buffalo Bills, what position do you think they'll go in the NFL draft?
It's tough to say personally or honestly, but if I had to pick, my guess would be if they somehow don't get Demetrius Bell back before the draft, which I don't think they will, my guess is that they will end up going with Jonathan Martin, the tackle from Stanford, but I would like to see them go after Michael Floyd, the receiver from Notre Dame. I feel that if they get a number 2 receiver with Fitzpatrick's release style and his fast release, they can deal with Chris Harrison as their starting left tackle, and they'll have a solid guy opposite of Stevie Johnson.
Yes.
That's a great
John,
point.
you continue.
Okay, and that's a great point. Last year, the Bills' second receiver was Donald Jones, and he wasn't really that great. And I like David Roosevelt to get out of UB, but Michael Floyd, as I said earlier in the show, he'd be a great fit for the Bills there.
So, Mike, I think they should actually pursue corner. Do you think they pursue corner at all in the draft, maybe a free agency?
The draft, it's tough because the only corner worth taking in the top 10 is Morris Claiborne, and with the report coming out that he got a 4 on the Wonderlic test today, he might actually drop to that 8, 9, 10 spot, in which case the Bills could make a move up a couple spots to get him. But if they go corner, if they choose to draft a cornerback, they probably would wind up trading down in the first round to take a guy like Drake Kirkpatrick out of Alabama. But in all honesty, they like what they have in Justin Rogers. They plan on them Drayton Florence to go back to the Drayton Florence of 2010, not last year's.
Yep.
So it's very likely that they don't even touch cornerback and they see what they have training camp, and if they need to, they can try and find somebody who's left in the free agent market come July.
Dave. Yeah, you go. You're a Bills fan.
Yeah, now I've got a question for you. What do you think the Bills' expectations are for this season?
My expectations for the Bills is playoffs. They went out and they proved that they can sign the top free agents. They gave Mario Williams a crap ton of money. They gave Mark Anderson a ton of money. They obviously believe they re-signed Steve Johnson. They gave Fitzpatrick the contract last year. They changed around their coaching staff a bit. To me, the expectations are playoffs. To the team, I know the expectations are playoffs. And to the team, not just playoffs, but they feel they can contend with New England after beating them early in the season, showing what they can do against the New England team when healthy. I feel that next season they could possibly feel they could make a run to the division. I know it's a stretch saying that, but that's what I know for a fact. Players on that team believe they can do.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Just stay on the line. We're going to bring in another Buffalo caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Oh, we lost connection. So, Mike, it's just me and you and Dave.
Okay, wait. I'd like to add on to that with their expectations. Last season, early, they were great. They were 4-2 until injury took over. They had like 17 injuries, I believe. Their offensive line was injured. They had some receiver injuries. And Fred Jackson, once that happened, I think they were done after that. But, yeah, I'm expecting them to go to the playoffs this year just as well.
So, Mike, what do you think? This is an interesting guy the Bills signed last year, this offseason. I don't know a lot about him, but the guy Mark Anderson, the defensive end for the Patriots. What do you think about him?
He's a guy. The money isn't too bad with only $19 million guaranteed throughout the contract. I just feel he's a guy that he plays when he wants. When he was in Chicago, he really didn't give 100% effort 100% of the time. It was more like 80% effort 40% of the time. But when he was in New England, he was resurrected somehow in 1 year under Bill Belichick. And I feel now that he got his contract, he might go back to how he was in Chicago. I'm very skeptical of the signing. I still feel it's a good signing, but I'm very skeptical to see how he does. I'm not really 100% sold on Mark Anderson.
Yeah. Anderson had 10 sacks. He had 10 sacks last year, led the Patriots, and so I think hopefully he can do the same again. I mean, we're not looking at him to be our leading player this year because we got Mario Williams. But
Mike, do you think that the Bills could pursue a quarterback in the draft, maybe second, third round? I saw some tweets about them maybe pursuing.
If they do, it'll be in the 4th or 5th round, the later rounds. A guy to look at would be like Russell Wilson from Wisconsin.
Yep.